All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. We've got another top 10 list that you're not going to want to miss. So 1 for the money, 2 for the flow. On 3, we take a sip. Now let's start the show. What's up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Keep It Comics. As always, I am your gracious host, C3. Before we get started, I want to take this opportunity to do what I always do, which is thank each and every one of you for stopping by, checking out the channel. And if this is your first time stopping by, checking out the channel, please, at the end of the show, consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. And you'll get notified every time I drop content with a new Hot 10. All right? So, we've got a nice list created for you today. I generated a few comics that I was looking up, hoping to add to my collection, and I'm here today to share those with you. All right? So, you guys know the routine. It's good vibes only, ladies and gentlemen. So check the nonsense at the door. Because we're just here for the love of comics. All right? Starting off our list at number 10. We've got a comic that is published by Marvel. This comic was released on November of 2022. So it's a modern comic. It's a new comic. And I took a lot of interest in this comic book because I watch Jim's Comics. And he highlighted this comic on his show. So shout out to Jim's Comics. All right? The title of this book is Peter Parker, Miles Morales, SpiderMan Double Trouble, issue number 1. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the Guerrero regular cover. Now, on Jim's Comics, he highlighted the cover B, but I'm highlighting this cover A because cover A is normally what spikes and what peaks when it comes down to the first appearances and all of that thing and all of that stuff that's in the comic book, all right? So you always want to make sure you have cover A in your collection regardless to what's going on with the other covers. So there was a lot of sales in this book over the past couple of weeks, and I just want to point those out to us because I intend on grabbing like 2 or 3 extra copies of this book for myself. So the last recorded sale for this book was on January 2nd of 2023, where a raw copy sold for $4. Now, this book is currently trending upward at 2.24%, with a definite increase in copies that are being sold. The average sale for a raw copy is $4. Now, excuse me, that vibe just getting off to an early start. Now, there are no graded copies of this book because, like I said, this is a new comic book. This book just came out over the last couple of weeks. But there has been 37 raw copies that have sold on the secondary market. And the highest known sale for a raw copy of this book was back in November 28th, where it sold for $5. And like I said, fair market value has this book resting at $4. So this is an affordable first appearance that you can get your hands on and add to your collection. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's supposed to be the first appearance of like a female Mysterio. All right, so if you're in the market for Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Double Trouble, issue number 1, keep your eye out on this book because near mint copies in a raw condition are going for like $4, and you can grab a very fine copy for like $3 and a fair copy for like $2 if you're interested. But I think it's a good purchase, and I, for one, am looking forward to adding this book to my collection. All right, moving right along, coming in at number 9. Number 9, we've got a book that's published by DC. The title of this book is Harley Quinn, issue number 25. There she is. So, the key factor to this book is it has this is a beautiful Boss Jenny Frizen 1 in 25 variant. I call it the rose-colored glasses variant because you can see her glasses, and there's that old saying, I view the world through rose-colored lenses, rose-colored glasses, right? So this is just a dope cover to me. One of Jenny Frizen's best art as far as I'm concerned, and I'm a big fan of Frizen, and I like this 1 in 25. And it seems to be doing fairly well on the secondary market, and the price is affordable. So again, I like to add affordable comic books to my collection. What we like to do over here is, while everybody else is speculating on all the super hot in the moment comics, we like to go back and grab those that have cooled off a little bit and add to the collection, because you don't always have to pay top dollar for a comic to add it to your collection. And that's what I try to focus on when growing my collection. All right, so let's talk specs. Last recorded sale for this book was on January 2nd of 2023, where a raw copy sold for $60. This book is currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, at 33.31%. And the average sale for this book is $16. There is no graded data on this book just yet, because this too is a fairly new book. Just came out 2-3 weeks ago. It crossed my path and caught my eye, and I thought it might be something I would like to add to my collection. So just keep in mind that there's been 47 raw copies of this book that has changed hands on the secondary market so far. So other people find this book quite appealing as well. And you may also, who knows? I mean, it just depends on your taste, right? We are all collectors, but we all have our different tastes, right? So the highest known sale for this book was back on December 25th of 2022, where a raw copy of this book sold for $80, which is still not bad for a 1 in 25, because we've seen 1 in 25 spike way past the $100 mark. So this is still pretty decent. All right, and like I said, fair market value has this book resting at $16 for a raw copy in near mint condition. But you can land a near mint plus raw copy for about $55 if you're in the market for one. So if you would like to have Harley Quinn issue number 25, the Jenny Frison 1 in 25 variant, keep your eye out on this book, because it is definitely on the move. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving right along, we've got a book coming from the Copper Age. All right. This book was published by Marvel. It was released in February of 1984. And the title of this book is Captain America, issue number 290. This is a beautiful book. It's the first appearance of Mother Superior, Red Skull's daughter, who later becomes Sin. So I'm really looking forward to adding this book to my collection. The first appearance of Sin. I'm also digging this all black cover. I don't know, but I've been on this all black cover thing lately, to where I'm trying to find some real crispy, flawless, near mint black covers that I can add to my collection, because I know that those are the most difficult ones to get your hands on. Anytime you find a book that's all black, that has a cover of all black, it is very difficult to land that book in a high grade. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on a nice, crisp copy of this book. So here's the LRS on this book. Last recorded sale on this book was on January 1st of 2023, where a raw copy sold for $11. This book is currently trending upward right now with a 31.4% increase in units sold. The average sale for this book in a raw condition is $4. Which I love that right there. Now, I'm not certain I can find a crispy copy in $4, but I am willing to pay what I have to pay in order to get this book into my collection in the grade that I need it in. All right. So the average price for a graded copy is about $88. Now, this book has sold 219 raw copies, but it has sold 14 graded copies, giving us a total of 233 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Keep in mind that back in May 22 of 2021, the high sale for this book was a CGC 9.8 that sold for $400, right? So a 9.8 sold for $400, and that's not too bad. It won't break the bank, so it's something that I can definitely consider while wanting to add this to my collection. Fair market value does have this book resting at $4 for a raw copy in near mint condition, and you can find a near mint plus copy in raw condition for about $20. So keep your eye out on this book, because if you're looking to add Captain America issue number 290 to your collection, it is definitely on the move. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in at 7. Good vibes only, people. Coming in at number 7. It's another Copper Age book, and it too was published by Marvel. It was released in July of 1984, and the title of this book is Moon Knight, issue number 38. Now, the specifics to this book is that it's the last issue that the iconic series where Zoar tries to resurrect Spectre's father. All right? So this is the last issue And there was a significant event that took place inside this issue, the resurrection of Spectre's father. All right, so let's talk numbers. The last recorded sale for this book was on December 29th of 2022, where a raw copy sold for $30. Now, this book is currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, at a 16.2% increase in units sold on the secondary market. The average sale right now is about $20, but you can land a CGC 9.8 of this particular book for about $317. Now, there has been 327 raw copies that have sold and 47 graded copies that have changed hands, giving us a total of 374 copies of this particular book that continues to show promise on the secondary market. Just keep this in mind, that back in April 13th of 2022, a CGC 9.8 sold for $365. Which again, it won't break the bank. You can save a couple of dollars. This is something that's very obtainable from where I sit. All right. Now, fair market value has this book resting at $20 for a raw copy in very fine condition. Now, the beautiful thing about this book is it's quite possible that you can find a near mint plus copy in a raw condition for about $45 if you are patient enough and take your time and really look at what you're trying to purchase. So if you are in the market for Moon Knight, issue number 38, keep your eye out on this book too, because it's definitely doing numbers on the secondary market. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 6. Yes, and as you can see, we're going to be moving right along through these books. All right. So coming in at number 6, we have a book that is published by Marvel. It's a modern comic, and it was released in April of 2007. Now, the title of this book is Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 539, the direct edition. Now, the beauty about this book is it has a key factor. It is the return of the black suit Spider-Man. Now, for some reason, I do not have this book in my collection. I need to hurry up and add this book to my collection because by the time this Spider-Man 4 hits the market, I hope I don't miss out. I'm just about at the threshold of FOMO. So I need to go ahead and grab my copy of this book and get it into my collection. But I'm trying to secure a beautiful copy, right? I just don't want to buy anything. I don't want the spine ticks. I don't want the folds. I don't want the dog ears. So I'm looking for a really good copy. The LRS on this book is as follows. The last recorded sale for this book was on July 2nd of 2023, where a raw copy of this book sold for $17. Now, this book is doing significant numbers on the secondary market. It is currently trending upward at 66.70% increase in units sold right now. The average sale for a raw copy of this book is $11. And the average sale for a CGC 9.8 is about $92. Now, I don't know if it will stay there. It may go up. I'm anticipating that it will go up a little bit, but anywhere between the $100, $125 mark, I think that's somewhere I'm still willing to go ahead and purchase this book, just so I can get my hands on the copy and get it into the collection. Right, so there's been 302 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 32 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 334 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, the highest known sale was back on October 14th of 2021, where CGC 9.6 sold for $115. So, in my eyes, that's definitely not bad. Beautiful price point for buy-in. Definitely worth taking a look at. Fair market value has it resting at $11 for a raw copy in very fine condition. Keep your eyes out because it is possible that you can land a near mint plus copy of this book for about $75 in the raw condition. All right, so just keep your eye out on Amazing Spider-Man issue number 539 because it's doing pretty well on the secondary market. All right, now we've made it to the halfway mark. Yes, and this is probably one of the fastest shows that I've put together, right? So we've made it to number 5 in under 14 minutes, all right? So I'm gonna take this opportunity to stop real quick and just thank you guys for stopping by, hanging out, checking out the channel. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and please, if you like the content, leave an encouraging comment in the comment section. For all of you that has been following me from day one, I really appreciate you. I know I couldn't do this without you. I do it for the love. I do it for you guys, man. I do this because I enjoy doing it. I'm not looking for anything in return. I just appreciate you guys just hanging out with me. I'm out of school for the next week, but when school starts back, I'll continue to drop content. I'm just not sure how frequent we will get it, but I'll do my best to maintain as I always do. And I appreciate everything you guys do and looking out for me. I appreciate you checking in on me. You guys are the greatest. I always say that, you know, this is like the best community in the world. The comic book community is like the best community, especially all the genuine people that are out there. All right. So thank you guys. And like I said, it's good vibes only, ladies and gentlemen. I'm only here for the love of comics. Back at it like let's do it. Let's do it. All right. We are talking about a modern comic right now. This book is published by Marvel. Coming in at number 5. The title of this book is Taskmaster, issue number 3. Yes, I'm a big fan of Taskmaster. Although I am not all that happy how Taskmaster was portrayed in that last movie. In that last what was it? Black Widow movie. I just wasn't particularly happy about it. But I am still a big Taskmaster fan. And I continue to want to add certain pieces of that collection, of that comic to my collection, right? Of that run, that iconic run. So the key factor to this book is it's the Shane Davis 1 in 25 variant. And it's also the first appearance of Taiwan and the first partial appearance of the Tiger Division, right? So they're going to continue to flush this particular characters out. These two characters, this character and this team, they're going to continue to flush it out, try to grow it a little bit. So I want to keep my eye out on it. I'm going to keep my eye on it, and I'm going to add these books to my collection because you never know what could happen to them, right? And on top of that, Taskmaster's still pretty dope in my eyes, man. Being able to mimic and master anybody's style as you go hand-to-hand combat with them, to me, that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to always have love for Taskmaster. All right? So last recorded sale for this book was on September 7th of 2022, where CGC 9.6 sold for $300. So just keep that in mind. Even if a movie doesn't do well, doesn't necessarily mean that the characters in the movie will take a dip. You know, Taskmaster's books still do well on the market. This book is currently trending downward, though, ladies and gentlemen. And this is my Strike While the Iron is Cold purchase right here. So this book is currently trending downward. It has a 25% decrease in units that have been sold. So I think this is a good opportunity for me to get my hands on this book. Now, the average price for a raw copy is $298 in near mint condition. And the average price for a graded book is about $279. So just depending which one you want to get your hands on and take the gamble with, these are the prices that you'll probably be faced with. There has been 73 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 15 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 88 copies of this particular book that continues to change hands on the secondary market. The highest known sale was made back in October 9th of 2021, where CGC 9.8 sold for $560. And that's a couple of dollars, man, but it's still not too crazy. So it's not so much out of the way that we can't get our hands on this book, right? So fair market value has this book resting at $298 for a raw copy in near mint condition. So if you're in the market for Taskmaster issue number 3, keep your eye out on this book because it's doing good on the secondary market. All right? And it's definitely a great book to add to your collection. Definitely. Now, coming in at number 4, ladies and gentlemen. This book was published by Marvel. It was released in November of 2022. It's a modern comic. And the title of this book is Star Wars Mandalorian, issue number 5. Yes. Now, the reason I like this book and the reason I put this book in on my top 10 list is because it's the first interior copy appearance of Fennec Shand, right? Of Fennec Shand. So I've been watching The Mandalorian. I've been watching all of the Star Wars franchise miniseries that they've been putting out. I am particularly impressed with Andor. For those of you, if you have not been checking out Andor, check out Andor. Andor is fire, and I really enjoyed that. All right, but when it comes to The Mandalorian, the Juan de what's his name? The Juan de Ruzma Devil Dog exclusive variant, right? So that's what this is. And it's limited to 750 copies, which means that there's a strong possibility that there could be some rarity to this book in the future. All right. So, not to mention, it's just a beautiful cover. All right. So, last recorded sale for this book was on December 29th of 2022, where raw copy sold for $35. This book has a 26.49% increase in units sold. The average sale for a raw copy is $31. There is no graded specs on this book just yet, but there's been 8 copies that have sold on the secondary market so far. So it's starting to catch legs, and I'm going to keep my eye out on this book. I like the Mandalorian. I've been a big fan of him and Grogu since I laid eyes on him, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing what this book is going to do on the secondary market. It has great potential. I want it in my collection. You may want it also. So just keep in mind that the highest known sale was back on October 21st of 2022, where raw copy sold for $36. Fair market value has it resting at $31. All right, so if you're in the market for Star Wars Mandalorian, issue number 5, keep your eye out on this book because it's definitely on the move, all right? Coming in at number 3, another book that is published by Marvel. The title of this book is Timeless, issue number 1. All right, now, the cover art is by Humberto Ramos, and the key factor to this book is it's the first Miss Minutes cover appearance. It's the first appearance of Anatoly Petrov, first cameo of the new Young Avengers team, Mary Jane as Spider-Man in the mainstream universe, and the first cameo of Lin Lai as Iron Fist. All right, so there are quite a few first appearances in this, some first appearances and some cameos in this. You can't beat a book that you can catch for these type of prices, and you get all these first appearances in there. So let's talk numbers. The LRS for this book was back in July 3rd of 2023, where a raw copy of this book sold for $34. Allow all these first appearances for $34. It's not bad at all. Excuse me. Now, this book has increased in units sold by 18.89%. The average sale per copy, per raw copy of this book is $6. And the average sale for CGC 9.8 is about $72. There's been 695 raw copies that have sold, but there's also been 54 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 749 copies of this book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Meanwhile, back in February 27th of 2022, there was a high sale of $272, which was for CGC 9.8. All right? So keep in mind that fair market value has this book resting at $6 for a raw copy and near mint condition. But that CGC 9.8 is not so expensive that it's not obtainable. So I will keep my eye on both of these books, both raw and both graded, to see where I might want to spend a couple of extra dollars. All right, so Timeless, issue number 1 is doing well on the secondary market. Keep your eye out on this book because it's on the move. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the number 2 hottest comic of the week. This book is doing good on the secondary market. It continues to move units. It has an 18.93% increase in copies that have been sold. The title of this book is The Punisher, issue number 64. Now, I love Punisher. I'm a big fan of kill, smash, kill, right? So what I see for this book is the first appearance of Outlaw Nigel Higgins, right? And the more we get, the closer we get to Daredevil reaching the mainstream, or we're getting this series, right? I believe, and this is just me, so I'm thinking that when Daredevil reaches the series, when we reach the Daredevil series, that we are going to see Frank Castle. This is just me, and they've got to meet on the streets of New York. They got to meet. So I'm anticipating that. I want to see it. I want to see what it's going to look like. What's that interaction going to be? So this is a book that I'm speculating on, and when that happens, it's going to open the door up for other individuals. So not just Punisher. So you got to think some of his big baddies are going to be there also, right? So there's just all types of areas and dimensions that you can envision as we continue to flush out this Marvel universe. All right, so last recorded sale for this book was on December 7th of 2022, where raw copies sold for $7. Now, the average sale for this book is about $2. So this is a very, very inexpensive book. Yeah, everything doesn't have to be $1,000. You know what I mean? So these are books that have they have key factors to them and great speculation purpose, but they're affordable, right? And while everybody else is trying to grab the big keys, you can grab these small keys, add them to your collection for little to no money before people actually pick up on that, right? Or you could just wait till everybody figures it out and then spend top dollar for it. But the average sale for this book right now is $2 for a raw copy. And the average sale for a CGC 9.8 is about $100. And that's right in my price point, man. I love that. So my bottom line for price point buying that's right there. So I'll take it all day, every day. $100 for a 9.8. Can't go wrong with that, especially concerning some Punisher goodness, man, right? If you're a Punisher fan, if you like Frank Castle, this should be, picking grapes off the vine for you right here. All right, so there's been 95 raw copies that have sold. There's been just one graded copy that have sold, giving us a total of 96 copies of this book that has changed hands so far. But I'm almost certain that the more we get close, the closer we get to Daredevil reaching the screen, that this book is going to continue to increase in value, because there are others who probably feel the same way that I do, that Punisher is going to hit the screen, and so will some of his bad guys, because he has to be doing something in order to have to interact with Daredevil in the series, right? So Punisher has to be up to something that Daredevil feels that he needs to intervene in and slow him down a little bit. So don't worry, my mind is just all over the place. This is how I am. I'm always thinking, trying to figure out who's going to see what, who's going to do what, and how they're going to, this is what I do. All right, but the highest known sale for this book was back in January 23rd of 2021, where a CBCS 9.8 sold for $100, right? And CBCS is a good graded company as well, so I wouldn't add less of a value to their books just because it's not a CGC. CBCS, they do great work as well. They're pretty fair with their grading, pretty knowledgeable, and I respect them. So fair market value, again, has this book resting at $2 for a raw copy. So you can't go wrong for getting some Punisher goodness in your collection for $2, even $100, all right? So Punisher issue number 64. Keep your eye out on this book, because it's definitely doing moves, right? And I love this cover because it has that gritty city look in there. He's got the 12 gauge sawed off. He's got the pump. Man, listen, that's classic Punisher, all right? So I hope you guys enjoy that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number one. We've made it to the number one hottest Keep It Comic top 10 pick book of the week. All right? This is my number one. All right? My number one is a Bronze Era book, right? It was published by Marvel, and it was released on October of 1972. And the title of this book is Marvel Spotlight, issue number 6. Yes, we're going to talk about some Ghost Rider goodness, all right? So, this is the second appearance and the retold origin of the Ghost Rider, right? We've got the Midnight Suns series rolling out. Listen, all holes barred, right? No holes barred. Everything is ready. Like, we're ready to just release everything and see everybody right now. So Ghost Rider is somebody who I'm looking forward to seeing on the big screen. I enjoyed Nicolas Cage's version of the Ghost Rider. I can't tell you how much I like the Ghost Rider. So I want to see what they're going to be able to do with them now, considering that they think they figured out where they went wrong with the other ones, right? So I'm excited. Will it be Bobby Reyes? I don't know. Who will it be? I don't know. But I'm looking forward to it. I just want to see him on the screen and see where they go with this, all right? So last recorded sale for this book was on December 30th of 2022, where a raw copy sold for $240. Yes, $240. I think that's pretty good for a book of this magnitude, all right? Now, this book does have an 18.64% increase in units sold. The average sale for this book is $207 for a raw copy, while the average sale for CGC 9.0 is about $599. So you're looking at $600 for a 9.0, give or take a couple dollars. So there's been 336 raw copies that have sold and 72 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 408 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, I am excited about seeing Ghost Rider on the screen, but I'm almost certain that he's going to be teamed up with somebody, which I'm okay with. I'm waiting for Blade. I'm waiting for Ghost Rider. I'm waiting for Nova. Like, I'm waiting for all these characters that we have not yet seen yet. And listen, even Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm like, when are we going to see him? Silver Surfer. When are we going to see him? Like, so I'm really, really excited about where Marvel is going right now, because I'm just looking forward to seeing these people. Hopefully I get to see them before my days on this earth are done, right? So I'm really ready to check out these books, man. And so I got my eye on this particular book. Marvel Spotlight issue number 6. The last the highest sale for this book was back on May 16th of 2021, where CGC 9.6 sold for $1,785, right? That's a big bill right there. But at the end of the day, a lot of individuals feel like this book is definitely worth spending the time and the money on, right? So fair market value has this book resting at $207 for a raw copy in fine condition. Now, it is possible that you can find a raw copy in near mint condition for $520 if you just take the time to do so. All right? So, if you're in the market for Marvel Spotlight issue number 6, the second appearance and the retold origin story of the Ghost Rider, keep your eye out on this book, because it is definitely on the move, all right? All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have given you your top 10 list. Be careful, execute, but be safe in doing so. Never jump out of the airplane without a parachute. Always take your time. This is our hobby, and it should be fun. There's no pressure, all right? So don't let anybody apply any pressure to you. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by, checking out the channel. It's time for me to go. I'll bid you farewell. But before I do, you know what I always say, don't hate, congratulate. Show some love, because that don't cost you nothing. Appreciate. But no matter what you do, ladies and gentlemen, always keep it comics. Peace. I'll see you guys next video. You know what.